Welcome to the channel. Welcome YouTubers and scrappers and e-scrap folks and computer folks and garbage pickers and whoever else is watching. Kind of a new what's inside scrap breakdown video. I'm gonna, start maybe a new kind of video called Gold Hunt or something like that. Not sure yet. Anyway, got an old computer tower here, eTower 266. This one's vintage, always a fun one, Microsoft Windows 98. And standard breakdown in the middle of it. I'm recognizing and seeing a lot of gold. Of course, you can always find those in computers, but this one seemed like just a nice one. I'm going to have a couple there. There are a couple of memory strips, should have some gold fingers on it. Should be a CPU down in that. It's been a while since I broke one of these down, and it looked like a significant enough amount that I should document it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Cool. Let's just check this unit out real quick. Again, eTower 266. Now I looked on eBay first just to kind of see if this was anything special or what kind of unit it was. Also, you got a big nice E there on the sides of the metal tower. And this thing is heavy, all metal carcass, all metal component, housings and all that stuff. This one, it was trash fine, no cords, kind of gunky. This was already jacked up on it, so I don't think it's working. Could some of these components be taken out and sold? Yeah, possibly. I might look into that, especially with these. And this is so old, these are going to be really low megabyte or memory, but we should check them out anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of break this out first, get rid of some of these cords, do a few of the screws, all that kind of boring stuff, and then we can kind of see what we're dealing with. And then as I break things apart, we'll document it and or lay them out. We'll go over it. Stand by. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Okay, starting from the beginning, if you're new at breaking these towers down, every tower is kind of the same, but no two towers are alike. I feel like, at least in between brands and types. So everyone's a little different. Some are made out of plastic. This one was all metal. I don't know if it had screws holding it in place. I don't think it did. It was already half peeled up from being trash, and I just ripped it the rest of the way out. It came right out. But the other thing we want to do right off the bat, besides take the outer shell off, is sometimes they'll have a front plate. This one does, a plastic plate. So I didn't see any screws holding it together. It possibly is a screw hidden somewhere. Again, no two really seem to be the same. So the way that I handle it is I just kind of take a screwdriver and I'm gonna push it up underneath this. And then I'm either gonna really try to pop it off, or if I need to bang it with a hammer to get it off, I will do, and then that'll get off, pop off enough to where if it doesn't fly off, you can just pry it off with your hand. So I'm not gonna film that part, just gonna do it. And the screwdriver worked, pried it off just enough. We'll see, we got a little thing here to unplug, a very small green board, and then more of that metal frame, and that's where we can start taking off some screws between that and then on the inside as well. And a tip you do want to watch on these older machines, even just the small board right there has got some. Okay, and speaking of connector ends, those are gold pins. Now, gold pins are going to be a big part of your computers, these older components when you are doing the gold hunt. So those gold pins and those gold pins and those gold pins and some that were up there and some that were over there somewhere, those were all connected to this ribbon wire. Okay, you probably saw that earlier. I went ahead and pulled out that ribbon wire. In fact, that's what I was doing when I started pulling that ribbon wire out and seeing all that gold, seeing all the ribbon wire. I knew there were going to be gold components. That's when I decided to make the video. But anyway, so I'm taking the ribbon wire out here so we can hollow this out. And I wanted to point out that that's what you're always going to look for one. For two, you can also check the other ends. A lot of times there'll be gold inside those. I went ahead and popped this one just to test it. It is silver, not gold on those. I'm going to cut all those. That means they're all going to be. I'm going to cut those off. They'll go in their own thing. And then also your ribbon wire, that's its own classification. That doesn't go with your standard power cords, unfortunately. That's going to go with your lowest grade. So I'm going to keep kind of taking those off. I wanted to show you that and point those parts out, and then we'll start breaking this apart, and then we'll look for other signs of gold. We've been in focus. There we go. Then we'll look for other signs of gold, as well as check that stuff out a little bit better. I'll take these drives out next. Basically, they're going to be pretty easy. We got a couple screws like that. We take those off, and those are actually going to slide out. These housing units won't actually come off of the base. They're part of the carcass. So just those screws. All right, last screw here. I'll show you how easy that is. There we go. Yeah, I'll say it should be. Just like that. All right, I just pulled the hard drive out of there, bottom of that, and lots of nice gold pins right there unveiled. You always want to check your connectors, especially on the older machines. I do got gold inside those that you normally wouldn't know was there. Getting things laid out here this morning, and all the components are out. Now it's just time to get that board. These are always really easy. They're always just screwed in. Not necessarily at the corners though. You'll do all these screws and you'll think, why is this not popping out? And there's always going to be a hidden one. So gonna get these out. I'll pop this board off. Then that'll be it for the main unit, and we'll take a look. All right, so I went and took that piece off, pulled it out, and you're gonna see gold fingers there. And on the jacks. There we go. We're gonna add that to the light iron pile. Man, that's a lot of weight right there. Okay, looking at the reverse side of this board, there's really nothing. There's nothing exposed. So that doesn't look that good, but you know, as you've been seeing in the whole video, definitely a great board, high grade board. And because it is, and we're gonna review it a little closer, but because it is, I'm really not going to do too much to it. I actually save my high grade boards, and there's 3 more pieces here though we have to deal with and get off. We're going to take off our memory. Don't forget to always check for those. And then this little stack right here where we're going to have our copper motor, an aluminum, a chunk of aluminum there, and then the CPU is going to be down in there, and that's what everybody likes. There should be some gold on that. So we're going to take a look at that real quick. The CPU or the memory sticks are real easy. You just hit these little things down and they pop right out. And the reason that you want to do that is because A, you get to see more of the little gold connectors that are in that. But then you get your memory out and they got the gold fingers on them. Some people cut those off. Some people sell these as is. I've just been holding them. They just go in a box. The same with that we're gonna get off here in just a second. All right, there's those. That came right off. Real little copper bearing motor there in that fan. And then there's, you got this aluminum heat sink. Stand by. Oh, okay. There's that. Nice big chunk of aluminum. You can actually look these up and see what the individual ones are, especially if they have markings on them. There's a lot of different classifications. I don't know much about them except for to take them and to deal with them later. Let's just take a look here. That pops that up, and then you should be able to just, so you can have lots of gold little connectors from all those pins. There's a bunch of monolithic ceramic capacitors, all those little things there. And then the opposite side of this, see a little gold arrow? They're saying, hey, reverse, boom. So there's that pack, and it's got a date, 95, 97. So you can look that number up, and I think, and see what this particular one's worth, or these types. I haven't got that far yet. So let's get all this stuff laid out. Well, actually, I gotta break these out. We'll lay out all these pieces next, and then we'll go over all this, including this board better. So stand by. Started removing the screws here on some of these components and drives, and I thought maybe I better do a quick recap for you, just in case you are new to it and you're kind of checking this out to see how to break down these towers. So this one had 5 components. Let's go through them real quick. This is the power supply. That's the fan, the cooling thing that keeps those big computers from overheating. Not gonna find any gold in this, but I always break these down. Some people do sell these as is. You got a lot of copper in there and other electronic components on a board. So I break those down. We're gonna do that. There's 4 screws, 5, 6, multiple screws. I haven't got to that one yet. This is that hard drive again. Now that one's made out of aluminum. You're gonna need the specialty bits on those. Some people sell the hard drives as is. Some people break them down. I break them down because I stack them up and hoard them. 3 more drives. This is kind of like a little floppy drive. I noticed it had gold pins. This one we're definitely gonna break into. I've already removed the screws from it, as well as these 2 CD drives. One was the CD read and write drive, I guess, or rewritable drive they used to call it. And one was simply the Sony disc drive there. So anyway, we're gonna have gold in there, hopefully on those boards, because they are on those pins. So I removed those. That's what we're getting ready to get into. Sometimes you gotta pop these faces off. We'll see. Oh, there we go. That came off pretty easy. You can always check. Those casings are almost always magnetic, but I have seen them before where they're stainless. So I've got a couple more screws I'm going to have to remove here. I think I'm going to go ahead. They're pretty easy to disassemble. I don't think you need to really see how to do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and remove those so we can take a better look, because doing it one-handed here is not really working. All right, this is that board on the top of this first drive. I'm not seeing any gold, unfortunately. Little specks like that. See the little dots? Now there's some nice little components on this board. I just don't know. I don't think we're gonna find much gold other than those pins and these little dots. All those little dots that you wonder, like that right there, right? Those, you wonder, are those gold? They look like gold. Well, guess what? It's because they do have little gold plate little gold plate rims around them. Let's go to the other side, is what I was really trying to do. Well, that's obviously, we're gonna have more of those on this side. No huge gold components, but this is going to qualify as high grade, especially. We got those gold pins there. We got all those gold pins. So it's kind of my understanding, very limited. It's a different type of board compared to this, okay? They're both high grade, but like you might as well sort them with what they are. That is a high grade motherboard, for lack of a better term. These are disk drive high grade boards, I guess. That's the way I'm going to pack them up anyway. At some point, I'm probably going to try to sell them to a board sort or an online vendor at some point in my life. Not sure when. But anyway, that makes me think that that's probably all I'm going to find on those other 2, not counting the hard drive. That's kind of its own thing. So I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to go ahead and disassemble this so you can see what's under it. You're going to find other little gold specks on this thing, always around those eyes. They call them, eyes. They're going to have a little bit of gold components on there. You can kind of see those little pins right there. That's going to be a little gold pin. There's 3 of them. Where did that go? It's on almost every one of these. That thing right there, you always pop off. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble it. Basically, I don't care about this stuff, this plastic and this metal frame. I want to leave as much of that junk as I can to go to the other scrap yard. But I'm going to take off all the screws that get me the components off. This little motor, that, and of course this big piece. I'll recap this drive because these other 2 are going to be really similar. Basically, if you don't like messing with a bunch of little screws, you're not going to like it, but that's how it works. You end up with this as your light iron, which is pretty decent. Make sure you always look. There should be 2 little motors on this. There's always going to be one on the other side. I've got to go back and get that one off because it does require a really small screwdriver right there that I don't have handy. So I do take those off. I go to that trouble. You do end up with a lot of little components. Like I said, little motors. This is the eye that's going to be in those. Good luck trying to figure out what all's on there and what all to do with it. At a minimum, it's a dirty piece of aluminum because of that big chunk right there. A lot of times I'll smash them. I get the little boards off. I do go and I get a little micro scrap and get the gold pieces off. So you're going to want to take a look at those. That's probably a nice little recap. Oh, we also got this piece of light iron for them. So I'm going to do the other ones same way, break them down every little bit that I can, and as well as this. And then we're going to look at that board and do the whole thing. And for bonus fun, every now and then when you open these up, you'll find a movie or a CD or something. And I'm not sure what I've got here, but there is some tunes in here. Not sure if it's my style. I don't think it is, but free CD. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Take off this little piece of aluminum. Otherwise, board number 2, equal or lesser value than the first board, just another drive board basically. Couple gold pins, and that's about it. But, I mean, flat packs and other stuff too, that's what makes it still gonna be a high grade board. Drive number 3, board number 3, another high grade that has really only gold, speaking, the gold pins and a bunch of little gold dots. Still high grade flat packs, monolithic ceramic capacitors, all that stuff. All right, I'm gonna unscrew it. This one's about wrapped up. That third board, little copper component there. Upon further inspection, the back of this board is, I mean, there's nothing there, right? And a couple of silver plated pins right there. That's those gold pins. This is that little floppy drive or zip drive, whatever it was. A couple capacitors. I think what I'm gonna do on that is basically this whole circle right here is nothing. I'm gonna break that off. I'm gonna salvage just this part right here as mid-grade because of those flat packs. There's a couple like that monolithic ceramic capacitors I'm gonna go ahead and pull off there just so that I can add those to my pile. And I'm gonna add those gold pins. I'm gonna pull those and add those to my individual gold pin pile because that's not a high grade board. I don't want to waste those gold pins. I mean, I could just take that whole little piece off right there, I'm sure. But I'm gonna take those off. And then I may try cutting those flat packs off. I'll probably just call that little section right there mid-grade and throw it in my mid-grade, get rid of that, and hoard that. And our final component, that older school hard drive. I'm actually not gonna break into this right now, only because I've got a stack of these to do. I like to do things kind of all at once, like in the categories, I guess. And I wasn't even planning on breaking anything down. To this detail today, I've got 4 tamper-proof bits there I got to throw on. No big deal to get those, but it's basically the same principle. It is a high-grade board. It's going to be its own category of high-grade board, at least I've noticed online. So hard drive boards are their own thing, but they are your high-grade. You got gold pins there. I noticed some gold pins right there, kind of right above and to the left of that silver circle. You can kind of see them. Sometimes these power supplies have tamper-proof bits, which I don't have handy, so luckily today it's just Phillips. All right, there's that board unveil. A couple screws there to get that fan out. Like I said, no gold, but a lot of copper-bearing materials. Those big capacitors, all that normal kind of cheap board stuff that you pull off. Now, when it comes to these low-grade boards like in this power system, I scrap them down. I mean, I micro scrap them. I get all kinds of stuff out. I don't have a good source to sell low-grade boards. My scrap yards don't buy them. I can throw them in my shred, but I don't want to leave all this stuff on, and I sure can't hoard it. I'm already doing that with my high grade and most of my medium. So basically, I take all the components off, and what you get is you get copper bearing, and Dirty aluminum with those aluminum capacitors. These I'll throw in a little silver thing to mess with later. You get aluminum I got to take off there. That's what I'm working on here, is this aluminum heat sink. So anyway, when I get done with this board, it's going to be just this and these strange little transistors and capacitors that I don't really know what they do. I can get these IC chips too. All right, let's take a good look at this board here. This is that motherboard. Again, the back doesn't really have any components. Everything here's on this side. And we've got a lot of gold. Every single one of these slots has gold connectors. The black ones there, those long ones, and the white ones. Of gold connectors there on those black ones as well as on that socket. There's some gold pins, there's some gold pins, there's some gold pins, there's some gold pins. More slots. These silver pins right there. And then on our flat packs, they're pretty good at letting us know gold, gold, gold. Got a few more right there that I missed a minute ago. So, and it's decent weight. They'll buy that board as is. Let's recap. We got a little throwaway little trash. That's it. That whole tower, everything else is metal. So there's all our light iron. All right there, condensed into that. Ribbon wire. Now, some of this ribbon wire does have the little connectors. You got to look. These got silver. Sometimes you'll see gold. I'm going to cut those. Some connectors that have silver. There's our wire. Moving right over, we've got some copper right there. Copper element. A couple of fans. There's our motors. A lot of little motors. Copper bearing. Little transformers and copper posts. Aluminum capacitors. There's the eyes. So at a minimum, like I said, you got little chunks of dirty aluminum. There's little gold pieces. Have fun getting all kinds of little things off those and trying to figure out what to do with them. More shred. There's all those nails, or all those screws. This is some silver pins, silver plated pins I've got to pull out from those. Yeah, this was a little gold connectors in there. Gold connectors. There's our CPU. Again with all that gold. Gold pins, gold pins, gold pins. Memory. A couple little pieces of brass, a couple little pieces of stainless. Some aluminum, including that big chunk. CD, whatever it was. Some dirty brass. Some more ribbon wire somehow I got out there. There is some mid-grade. That's what I was talking about, busting that one up. There's our mid-grade board. It's our high-grade board. Those drives, which again includes those gold pins there. Gold pins there. There's this high-grade piece. Got gold fingers there and there. And then finally, this hard drive gold again that I just am not cracking into right now. So a lot of gold pieces to me in that one tower. I mean, I've broke computer towers before and not really found anything except for the jacks, you know, for the internet. So not too bad. I think it's pretty cool. That's how it works. If you haven't scrapped down a computer tower, maybe that'll help you. If you're looking for gold and computer towers, one more time, that is the eTower 266, designed for the Microsoft Word 98. A window of opportunity, if you ask me, with all that gold. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. If I left anything behind, definitely let me know. Otherwise, check out my playlist, check out my other videos, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Smack it, shake it, whatever. I say thanks for watching and happy scrapping.
Thank you. Thank you very much.